Null Inquisitor. Hello, hello, hello. This is Null Inquisitor. And today I'm going to do something special. I'm going to design a character for my Anoren game using GURPS. And I hope this will be a kind of a interesting experience. I'm gonna design this character maybe in hope to use it as an NPC for some upcoming game. And also I wanted to do this video to show an example of character creation using the GURPS 4th edition rules. So if some of you are interested by that game and how it can be, this will show you an example of character creation. So do I have forwards? Maybe. As you know, GURPS is a generic system, so you have to have an idea before going in and design a character. So of course I did a little brainstorm before starting the video. I did a little brainstorm. So I'm gonna create a character that will be a merchant in my game. There is this character named Leighton, played by David Singh, and he is also a merchant. So I thought it could be fun to create an NPC that's also a merchant from the Minari ethnicity, maybe a female one, maybe to create some tension or romantic possibility for Leighton, and of course being being a smuggler type character, this romantic possibility could be challenged by some troubles. So I want to create this female merchant of Minari descent and create a possibility of involvement with Leighton. Maybe this woman is a known merchant, and maybe Leighton has crossed her at several occasions in his travels in Anoren. So this character will fill this niche in the game, a known NPC with shared or connections with Leighton. So I've started to look on the web, and basically I came up with this idea with an image, with a picture found on Pinterest. So I'm gonna add the picture right here. So I'm gonna add this. This software I'm using is called OneNote. For a long time, I didn't wanted to have anything with anything to do with Microsoft product. At some point in the past, I started to use OpenOffice exclusively, and since OneNote became free, and some other communities talked about it very much in positive manner, I decided to apply it to my game, to my Anoren game. And so far, this did not disappoint. It's a very good software. It's a very good at organizing things for your campaign. So I'm playing here with a little bit of the image to crop it. And I have trouble crop it a little bit here. Normally, okay, zoom it right there. See the whole picture. As you can see, this this image is very evocative. It's a woman of kind of tribal, and for the Minari in my game, I try to aim for that nomad look. She could have a slightly more dark skin, but it's fine, I guess. So this image will be my main inspiration for this character. So she looked like a woman in her middle age, maybe 30s. She looked like a traveler. She had this fantasy look. So if you are using a computer for your campaign prep, a good idea is to have a template, a ready-made template like this. And you save so much time by doing a template, and you just need to fill it. So it's a great time saver. So I'm gonna give her a name last. I'm gonna name her at the end. So description: what this character inspires me. I will focus more on that, and bother with character points after. I think I'm gonna design her at 150 points. Our character Leighton was built around this budget, and I want her to be as equal as him. So I want her to be kind of a foil. Maybe she have feelings for Leighton, but it's unclear. I want her motivation to be not so obvious. So okay, so she looked, yeah, let's say 36 years old. 36 years old. She's Minari. Minari, traveler, and merchant. She have mismatched clothes. She seems to have some fur and some feather. She's kind of slim, slightly slim build. So, Minari traveler. Slim built. She looked a little bit tired, but she seems to have quite a personality, quite a serious personality. She looked tired of, or maybe she's worried by something. Maybe she have this addiction, and she needs something to awake. Maybe she have a long lost love, or some trouble in her past. Let's give her into the description. She have green, eyes. She have dark hair, straight, more medium dark hair, slightly pale skin for a Minari. And she wears mismatched cloth, leather, a mix of leather, linen, fur, and feathers. Okay, this woman. I think I'm gonna name her right away. I'm starting to feel this character, so maybe giving her a name will be more beneficial this time. So I'm gonna give her an Arabic name. And I have this thing in my binder. It's a PDF you can find on Drive-Thru-RPG. I'm trying to remember the name. It's like, yeah, the Everyone Everywhere list. And there is you can find, of course, online name generator, random name generator. This one was taken from, I think, real life database of African and Arabian names. You just need to roll a percentage. So I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give her, let's say, an African name. A Northern African name, maybe? Northern African name. Syrian name. Yeah, let's go with, that sounds good. I'm very picky on name because I try not to repeat the name of the past. I try to come up with original name. Okay, let's go Arabic female name, and that will be your name. Gonna roll on this table, 34, and it gives me Nadia. So Nadia is a common name, so maybe I could twist it. Nidiari. That's it. She will be called Nidiari. All right. All right, all right, all right. So I want her to be a traveler, maybe the leader of a small caravan. So already, maybe she's a little bit more wealthy than normal. She probably have some assets like cash and camels and wagons and hirelings. So right from the get-go, this character needs to be a little bit more comfortable with her wealth. So I'm gonna give her a level of wealth. And oh my God, I did this before the attributes. Yeah, you can totally focus your character when you're creating a character. You can buy the most important stuff before, and of course you can go like in steps. You can do attributes and social background and blah blah blah. but you can do it in any order you want, especially if you're accustomed to do it. Maybe I should do it in order just for good measure. Okay, let's see. Tell you what, I'm gonna give her some level of wealth, and then I'm gonna do it in order just to show proper show proper character design. So in a GURPS, under wealth, you have several level of wealth. Do I want her to be dead broke, poor, struggling, average wealth, comfortable, wealthy, very wealthy, filthy rich, or multi-millionaire? I think I'm gonna go with comfortable wealth would be cool. And wealthy would be very, very cool. But she doesn't look very wealthy to me. She looked like comfortable. Maybe not. Maybe struggling a little bit. But she's a merchant, so I'm going to give her a wealth. This is costing me 10 points. One thing I should mention about NPC creation in GURPS, normally you don't need to track points. So really this character could become, in fact, a player character. We have 10 points. I'm gonna keep a tally here just to have an idea where this design is going. So yeah, normally in GURPS when you create an NPC, you don't need to worry too much about points. Of course, you have as a game master, you have unlimited points. So one thing that can happen is you can make your character always too powerful. So you have to check that out. You have to measure. Some character should definitely be powerful, like kings and emperors and the best swordsmen you got in the land. And of course, these characters should be powerful. But other characters should, most characters that are under the PCs, normal people, should be, you see the stats over here, 10s, 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 everywhere. This is the average human in GURPS. So most NPCs should be around these values. On an ordinary roll of the dice, this represents a little bit less than the average dice roll. The average dice roll on 3d6 is 3.5 on 1d6. So on 3d6 it's 10.5. So you see, it's the average. If you want to roll an IQ roll or a strength roll, you will succeed half of the time. So this is the average. But this character will be built as a full PC. A thing I would not normally do for an NPC. It would be much faster. You see, I would just fill this template with the things I think this character would need, and not bother with the rest. And maybe correct it as we go along in the campaign. If this character did an impressive dexterity roll at some point, maybe I should bump this dexterity a little bit, you know. So okay, so let's start with the attributes. She physically doesn't look like weak, but she doesn't look like strong either. She looked like kind of average strength-wise. So I'm gonna leave her strength as is. Dexterity-wise, I imagine this character to be a little bit more nimble than the usual person. So I'm gonna give her 12. especially if I want her to be good at combat and evading combat. So this 12 will cost me 40 points. And of course, every ability in GURPS at 10 costs nothing. So I don't need to worry about that. So I have 100 points left. The two stats in GURPS that are the most costly are IQ and Dex, because they are really everywhere in the system. Most of the physical combat skill are Dex based, and most skills are IQ based. The mental skills are basically all IQ. So those two stats are more costly. They cost 20 points per point. And she will be probably an intelligent fellow too. I'm gonna compare. I want her to be as smart as Layton, so I'm gonna open Layton's character sheet here, and I don't want to show some secret, of course. So Layton has a 13 strength. So I could go as smart. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna make her a little less smart than Layton. But she may have more resources from elsewhere, like contact and underground connection, and more of a hedgy kind of way of going about. So, and so strength average, dexterity a little bit higher than normal, IQ, intelligence 12. She's kind of bright, and health, HT. Yeah, I don't want her to fall sick too much, or I'm gonna give her 11. Strength and HT in GURPS is 10 points per point. So it's kind of cheap. Maybe I could, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give her a 13. Yes, she's really like healthy. So as you can see now, I don't have many points to do the character, but I will take disadvantage. That will give me more points to, or maybe I could drop her health by 1 point and save 10 points. Yeah, I think it could be an idea. It's not like I called that her greatest asset would be her vigorousness or endurance, but she looked like tough, so I want her to be tough a little bit. So we're done with the attributes. The attributes are done. The secondary characteristic are dependent on these attributes. So, for example, HP is the hit points. It's based off strength, so I will leave it at that. I could raise it. I could give her more hit points, but I don't want her to feel like a superhero, so 10 is good. Will and perception are based off IQ, so I have 12 in both without paying any points. Could she be more perceptive? No, I'm gonna leave it at that. And fatigue is based off HD, also 12 without spending any points. The damage score is based off strength, so I don't need to change it. And when you are using templates, you You can prepare a little cheat sheet like this, so you can just copy the code you need for your strength and just paste it just next. Just replace the section over here. Little trick I use. So am I done? Am I okay with these stats? She have 12 everywhere. She's pretty good in everything. But this to me does it feel with my description? So she's a traveler, she's a merchant, slim build, she's 36 years old. I think I'm gonna save some points. Yeah, I'm gonna save a couple points by dropping her dexterity. Why I did that? Of course, this dexterity stats will have an implication. No, you know what? I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna keep it at 12 and live with that consequences. Okay, all right. Now to finish the secondary characteristic, all these 3 lines over here. I'm gonna need basic speed. Basic speed is basically your dexterity score. Dexterity score is 12, and you add to that your HT score, 12 again, and you divide the total by 4. So that will give you the number of yard per second the character can move, can move on the ground, and also is reaction speed. So basic speed is your initiative, and it also helps to determine the basic move, ground. For example, a creature that would run on the ground and the air and swimming, you could have a move score like ground, then have swimming speed, and if she fly, maybe you could write it like this. But this character will be like a normal human with average in everything. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Dodge is your move, but you add 3 always to your move. It's like in the old days, in 3rd edition, the move and the dodge and the basic speed were almost always the same. But in 4th edition, we had always 3 to every defense score. It's a way of it's a way the designer raise the fantastical element of GURPS to make it more cinematic a little bit. So her dodge score will be 9. So on a 9 or less, she's able to dodge an attack that come her way that she's aware of. Block is when she's using a shield. So most defense score like block and parry are by default text based. Of course, if she learn a skill like shield or buckler, or we would use this skill as the base for this stats. So I'm going to use just dexterity for her. So you take your dexterity, you divide it by 2. Gonna write the equation here. You divide it by 2, and you add +3, like I said before. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And the parry will be the same. I'm probably giving, I'm gonna give her a skill in swords. So definitely she will have more than one parry score. So this parry score will be her basic default parry score. DR is damage resistance. It's kind of handy. It's the armor she will wear. So I'm gonna leave it blank. The social background is nearly the same for every character in my campaign. So she's from an era that we classify as tech level 3. So it's medieval time, basically. I could take it out of my of the equation if I wanted to have nothing to do with time travel and such, but I'm gonna leave it here. Cultural familiarities. Yeah, Anoren, she's familiar with the culture of Anoren. She speaks Anoren, of course. I'm gonna give her another language. I want her to speak like Dwarven, because she wants to basically do commerce with other species, other race. So I'm gonna give her a Dwarven. Language in GURPS comes in 4 level. You have none, broken, accented, and native. So I'm gonna give her an accented Dwarven tongue. That cost me 4 points. I want her to speak the language of the Valar in a broken form. 2 points. I want to give her like a maybe some Minari tribe in the deep desert have some kind of dialect. So I'm gonna give her Minari. That's a native language. Since she's Minari, I'm gonna give her free the language. If you can justify your character to be a native, I don't see why you would have to pay for this language. So I have 6 points in language, and our religion will be the calming wind, like most Minari. And this doesn't cost a thing. It's just a social background detail. The traditional GURPS character sheet don't have this entry. This is a personal one for my campaign. So I'm at 34 points. Now the crunchy part, advantage. She's comfortable. What? Oh yeah, I thought about a contact and connection. Well, in GURPS you have an advantage called contacts. I'm gonna give her quite a bit of advantage of contacts. So when you're designing a contacts in GURPS, you need to decide, of course, what is this contact we're talking about, or what is this group. You can have a contact group or just one contact. So this character will have many. I'm gonna start by giving her a contact group, like a web of connection in the underground. She will be dealing in all kind of legal trade, but also many other that are more illegal. So she will have a contact contact group among the Minari underground, Minari criminal underground. So when you design a contact in a GURPS, you need to decide 3 things. You need to decide the effective skills of your contact, its frequency of appearance, and reliability. So the skill of these guys will be, and I have the choice between 12, 15, 18, or 21. So she will be connected with the big guy, the big league. So these guys will have like 18 skills when they will be helping our friend here. So they mean business. So so that determined the base cost of my advantage to 3 points. Frequency of appearance. So this this thing in GURPS comes all the time. It's on page 36. Every ads and this ads can have a frequency of appearance. So, for example, if a player would play this character and would suddenly need to contact the Minari criminal on the ground, I would ask this player to roll a frequency of appearance to see if these characters, this contact group is available. So by default, it's a 9. It's a 9 or less frequency, but she will depend a lot on these characters. She will depend a lot on her group or contacts. So I'm going to boost it to 12, and that multiply my total to 6. So that means that they will appear quite often in the game. And lastly, does these guys are reliable? Haha, this is this is interesting choice I will make here. So normally, by default, the contact you buy are somewhat reliable. On a failure, the contact doesn't know or cannot find what you need as an information. And on a critical failure, they will lie. And on a natural 20, 18, the contact will clearly mess with you. A contact group in GURPS, by the way, is just for information. So she will not be able to be helped by the Minari criminal underground, just have information. So since it's a thing, I'm gonna say it's usually reliable. Usually reliable. So she know the right people. She know the right people. She know how to speak to those people. And this is one of her great assets. So that multiply the result again by 2. So it's done. She now have a contact group among the Minari criminal underground. Now, do I want her to have another contact? Yes, I want her to know a dwarf. I want her to know a dwarf merchant. Like one of those traveler from the sea. Yeah, a sailor, a merchant sailor. Merchant sailor that she see from time to time when she's in Karali, and you can give good tip. This guy is really like a good merchant. So his base skill is 15. That will base this character at 2 points. This guy will be somewhat reliable, so that does not change my cost. So of course on an 18 it will be a nuisance to my character. And this guy will appear sometimes. So yeah, design like that. This character will cost, this contact will cost me 2 points. So it's a dwarf merchant sailor, skill 15, somewhat reliable and will appear sometimes. Another contact will be a Minari Fortuneteller. Now, she want to behave. Yeah, I'm gonna give her this Fortuneteller contact. I want her to be quite competent. I want her to be usually reliable. There's a little sentence in the contact advantage that say that you had 1 point to the base cost if the character can access information using supernatural talents, like fortune telling, for example. So that gives my character here a +1 on the cost. So she uses how could I say it? Yeah, she uses extrasensory perception. So, all right. She's usually reliable, so that's multiply my cost by 2. And she have a yeah, she's traveling a lot, so it's not often that my character will encounter this person. So there you go. I have 3 contacts. These are the most important things for my character. So quick tally, 12 plus 2 plus 6, it's 20 point. 20 point of advantage right here. Now, this woman here, she's 36 years old. I'm gonna have a look at the advantage list in GURPS, trying to mine for something that would be interesting. And still remembering that I have only 14 points left. Is she attractive? Kind of a little bit. But in a, in a middle-aged woman way, I could give her like slight attractiveness, or maybe, yeah, charisma. Yeah, she's good with people. Of course, she okay. She's not the beauty, but she knows how to talk to people, so she'll be charismatic. And charisma is 5 points per point, and I give her charisma 2. So each time that she deal with people, she will the score of her social skills will be will have this bonus of +2. And maybe Layden find that attractive. Maybe is attracted not to her beauty, but her strength of personality, maybe. Okay, I have 4 points left. It's all right. I'm gonna give her this ad. Yeah, she's charismatic, and I'm thinking about raising her willpower, giving her a strong sense of personality. Willpower is one way to do that. Okay, I'm gonna raise her willpower, I think. I don't see... I'm gonna raise her willpower by 1 point, because she appeared to me to be like a strong-willed woman. So my current tally will be -1. Okay, so I spent all my 150 points. This character would be lacking skills, so I could not very play this character. But my strategy here is to give her this ads to give me back some points, and then spend those points in skills. I will have to see if I'm gonna go maybe drop some advantage, or maybe lower charisma to gain back some points. So I'll get back to advantage if I have an idea to the build. So I'm gonna give her, I think, an addiction. She appears to me, maybe that's why this character is shady a little bit and tired looking. Maybe she's addicted to something, and she dealt deep. Maybe she became addict after dealing in selling illicit substance. So maybe that's why, and that will make her a little bit interesting. So addiction to create something that is addicting. Let's say some herbs, some Minari herbs, like a blend of spices and herbs that are toxic. I'm thinking about something that is, of course, smoked, but smoked maybe in a bowl. You lit the bowl on fire, you throw some herbs into it, and you do this in your tent in the desert. You know, you fill the tent with these herbs and spice, and you ask buddies to join you, and you become intoxicated. Yeah, that will be it. I'm gonna call it. I should give it a weird name, like blah 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 blah. I'm gonna put some spice blend. I'm gonna give it a generic name for the moment. Minari herbs and spice blend. Intoxicating herbs and spice. And of course, I should give it a name, maybe to be flavorful in the campaign. So how much does it cost, this blend? Is it like cheap, expensive? Is it very expensive? I'm gonna go with expensive. So this will change my cost. That will set my basic cost to -10 points. So is it incapacitating or hallucinogenic? No, I don't see it as crippling the character while, or maybe, is it highly addictive? Is it totally addictive? No, I'm gonna give it like it's highly addictive. Highly addictive. bring the cost down by another 5 points. And okay, I'm gonna go the incapacitating route. Incapacitating, yes. So this stuff is really like addictive and nasty stuff. So yeah, that's a big that's a big disad. Is it too big? Okay, the incapacitated part is is too much. It's a little bit too much for the idea I had for this character. I'm gonna leave it at highly addictive. It's expensive. There's a little formula in the book. You can know how much it costs in your game world by default. So basic. So the basic wealth at tech level 3 is set to a generic 1,000 pieces of something, dollar, silver piece. In Anoren, this is the silver piece. And they give me 0.5% of average starting wealth. So 1,000 multiplied by 0.5. It's it's 500 silver piece. That's expensive. Okay. Maybe she could be like super wealthy, but because she's addicted to this stuff, her wealth is just comfortable. But she have to spend 500. No, it's not 500. It's 1%. I did my math wrong. It's too much expensive. So this would be 10%. I'm sorry for the math. I need to concentrate a little bit. So it's one. Jesus Christ. That's 10. That's 1. Okay, that's 5 silver piece. Not so bad, but if you have to spend it every day, yeah, that's expensive. Okay, so kind of did a little mistake here. So let's suppose 365 days multiplied by 5 silver piece. That will be, she will need to spend 1,825 silver piece per year to sustain her addiction. That's okay. That's expensive. Okay, another disads I had in mind was enemies. You know, in pulp or fantasy, it's common to have enemies. So I'm gonna give her rivals, and maybe people who want to do her harms, to her business or maybe personal business. So enemies. A rival merchant clan. So when you design an enemy, you have several choices to make, like the power of this enemy, the intent, frequency of appearance, and special cases. So this will be a group of, let's say 50 people. So they are quite everywhere and encountered often. So they will be. Do I want these enemies to be as powerful as her or less powerful. That means build with how many points? In my games, people in this game, in this campaign, people at 150 points are not so common. So I'm gonna say these 50 people are less powerful than her. Just because she's hero character, she's hero material. So by deciding to make them less powerful, that give me the base cost of, so -5. Okay. Okay, so that would be for one person. So if I want to build medium size, large group of people, okay, large group of less powerful people is actually -30 points. So they are everywhere she goes. Okay, so and I'm gonna make this a 9 or less for, yeah, a total of, yeah, she have many enemies. I'm gonna call it merchant, rival merchant. Okay, concerning disadvantage in GURPS, you have limits. You cannot go and spend like 500 points in this ad and go your merry way in spending these on your character. Generally, in third edition, it was the basic was for a 100-point character. The ads were 45 points plus 5 points in quirks. In the fourth edition, they recommend half your character points in this ad. So my maximum would be around -60, -75 points. So now I'm at 45. I could go. A little. I could go and fetch me some more of this ads. Okay. One of the classic disads for heroes are pacifist. You know, cannot kill anybody. I don't see her like the kind of person who would not be able to kill outright and be fine with it. She's like a tough woman. A classic for a merchant is greed, but kind of a lust for wealth. I don't see her like that. Does she have a duty to her men? Maybe not. But then again, she's Minari, and they are very tribal people. So I'm gonna give her like... Yeah, I'm gonna give her a sense of duty to the people she considers her home. Like the people in her caravan. She will care for these people. Maybe that will include Leighton in its sense. Or maybe not. So, people in her caravan. So she have a duty to these people. So I have to decide in this ads what will be the size of this group. Is it individual, small group, large group, an entire race, or every living being ever? So this will be a small group, -5 points. yeah, she will be she will have a strong sense of commitment towards these people. But everyone else, meh, meh. And lastly, I'm at 50 points here, minus 50. I could still push it at 25 points again, but yeah, I'm not sure about pushing it too far. I don't need these 675 points that much, but I will give her another disadvantage, a secret. She has something she keeps for herself. And that could explain a lot of her behavior, like why she's so secretive and why is she not reliable with Layton and other PCs or other characters. Maybe she has something that she hides and forces her to do stuff against her will sometime. I will make this like she have a secret, and there is several levels of secrets you can take: serious embarrassment, utter rejection, imprisonment or exile, or possible death. I'm gonna go with imprisonment. People would know her secret. She would be cast into a jail and maybe throw into the black ways in Carolee. She would probably be like that. If people knew, maybe it has to do with her trade, her illegal trade. So yeah. So this is the effective revelation of the secret, of course. And of course, if the secret is blown up, this disadvantage will become something else. Like it can be social stigmas, reputation, enemies. So these points will be converted to something else if the secret is ever found out. In general, the secret appears in the game on the roll of a 6 or less. And of course, the character have a chance to fight to keep it secret. So this is a big one. This is a minus 20. So I'm close to the actual limit of this adds. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'm gonna do a big total here. 20, 20, that's 40, that's 70. 70 minus 1, that's 69 points. So that gives me plenty of space for skills and other things. Quirks is a fun one, and I'm gonna do it last. So, all right. Skill time. Okay, to help me with the skill, to go faster a little bit, I'm gonna use a PDF from the fine folks at Steve Jackson Games. I think this one is free. It's called Skill Categories. It's just a compilation of every skills in GURPS, but in the book, the skills are in alphabetical order. But this one, it make all the skills and regroup them into themes like animals, athletics, weapons, social, and craft, and business. So I'm going to use this list to browse, to find interesting skills to go to. So of course she's a merchant. So I'm going to start with her profession. So business is a good way to start. So the the business category, for example, you have accounting, administration, current affair, business, diplomacy, economics, finance, law, market analysis, mathematics, merchant, politics, propaganda, public speaking, and savoir-faire society. So I could take them all and call it a day. But I'm gonna pick and choose. Maybe people in their caravan can fill these tasks. So the most important one for her would be the merchant skill. I have 69 points. I use a small scale to design skills. If I'm giving 1 point in a skill, that means you have some training, you spend some time, but basically you're like a beginner, or it's a pastime. 2 points is like you spend a lot of times, like 400 hours of training in that. So you're kind of competent. At 4 points, it's your profession at this point. You do it all the time. And 8 points and more, you're like a master. So I'm gonna spend my skill in these units, like 1, 2, 4, 8. And I do it this way because it corresponds to the spending scheme in the GURPS basic rules. So basically, you go in multiples of 4 after 4. So we can go like 12, 16, 20. So and determining the levels of skills is an art into itself. But so I will focusing just on points and see where the level goes. So I'm gonna give her 8 points in merchant. Nah, 12. Yeah, she's a good merchant. She spent all of her life doing some trades. Leave me 57. Let's see. She's not an accountant. She's a Minari. She can probably do math in her head. Yeah, I haven't talked about. Yeah, that's probably important. I have this template here I could use. This represent the typical Minari in my world. And yeah, religious observant. Okay. Thing is, with GURPS and templates, you can use them or you can't. And I think I'm gonna pick and choose. You're not obligated to do anything with templates. They are just like it depends. Some GM could enforce them. You know, like the elves, for example. If my character would be an elf, I would probably require that the player spend 80 points to be an high health, just because in my mind every elf have these. But in the case of cultural templates like the Minari, they are human desert people, and it's more like vague. It's culture. It's not physicality. It's not race. So she already have a good HT. Could give her mathematic ability. Let's say I will not. I'm gonna give her the temperature tolerance because it makes sense. So that's 1 point. So it's a little setback here. I should have thought about it. Religious observance, nah. She's too busy smoking stuff in her tent. Riding horse or camel, desert survival. Yeah, I'm gonna take those two. So that's 4 points. Okay, so let's get back to the skills of business. Yeah, diplomacy, current affair. Current affair is a major one for this character. Current affairs, business. What's going on? What's selling these days? And I gave her 4 points. I'm gonna give her then diplomacy. Diplomacy is a big one, especially if you're in the desert and you want to survive. Bandit. Okay, economics, finance, law. Law. Nah. Market analysis. It has a too much modern sound to it. Mathematic, merchant, I already got it. Politics, propaganda, public speaking. Public speaking, yeah. She's good in public. 4 points. All right. Okay, so the categories of business is pretty much okay for me. So as a merchant, she's pretty okay skill-wise. So now I'm gonna go and explore other categories. Like I'm gonna choose camel, of course. Need to. Anoren game is need camel at every turn. I'm gonna give her real knowledge of. She's doing business and on the Anoren East Coast. She knows it very much. 4 points. Okay. She knows how to handle animals. And I need to specialize. So I'm going to specialize. Some skills in GURPS you need to specialize. Because skills are more granular. For example, if I'm using cinematic rule, I could create like a skill called animals, and to indicate that it's a cinematic rule, I would add an exclamation point, and every cost I would insert into this would be like 8 times the cost, if I remember correctly. So if I would be like, oh, I want to be competent, that would be super expensive. But this being the animal cinematic skill would cover every skill that involves animals. So it's a good way to be less granular about GURPS. And it makes sense for most cinematic game. Okay, so she's a desert people. She's a traveler. I'm gonna give her hiking. She's pretty good at walking and traveling on foot. Social skills. Let's see the social aspect of it. Social skills like acting. Yeah, acting. Oh yeah, acting is a big one. It's a skill like bluff in the D20 games, like to hide emotions. And that's a big one. Acting, administration. Probably I should give her administration skill over her organization or caravan. She must do logistics and count and give people orders, detect lies. Yeah, detect lies is a good one too. Really good at detecting lies a little bit. Then fast talk. Oh yeah. 4 points. Now I'm almost done. Maybe I should. Leadership is a good one too. Okay, let's say another last one, a last social skill. And I have 4 points left. I'm gonna need to be maybe a fighting skill. So I was thinking about a simple scimitar skill, which is covered by a broadsword skill. Let's say 2 points in it, and the last point will be in brawling. You know how to punch people a little bit. Maybe 1 point. And let's add a little background skill like dancing. Maybe she learned. Maybe she was like a dancer in her years. So my tally is at 0. My character would be playable like as soon as I started to add skill to the character, she would be playable. Since GURPS, it's a skill-based game. You need skills. So I could have started with the skills and call it a day and start to play. But there are several ways to go about it. So I kept the most fun, the funniest part for the last. Oh, I have 4 people watching. I'll take a moment to just salute you guys. 4 people? Dear God. Okay. So our quirks. Quirks are little -1 thingy that gives flavor and personality to your characters. Most of the times they are like small disads. So, and the role play of your character will come mostly from these little quirks, these little tiny details you add to your character. There's a positive version of it that is called perks. And just to show you how it's done, I'm gonna add 1 perks at least to just to show you. Like for example, there is one in the book, like no hangover. Your character does not feel. It's not the. It's always little advantage. Like in this case, no hangover would mean when you're drunk, you have full penalties. You have penalties to your dex, your will, your dexterity, you're fumbling around like everybody. But the next morning, you don't suffer from dehydration, or you don't have headaches, you don't have the need to vomit or whatever. So no hangover in this case is just a little perks, you know. It's yeah, that's an example of it. Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna give her a perks that will create on the spot. She have a memory of faces. Like she never forget a face. And that will be her perk. Like if she meets someone, she will remember it for the rest of her life. No need for IQ roll, no need for checking if she misses somebody. If she see your face, just a part of it, she will remember it for the rest of her life. So it's a small little thingy advantage that will work 1 point. So yeah, in my tally, I'll be at -1. So I need to start to add some quirk. So let's see, what could, and most of the time we will leave unused quirk like this on the character sheet. That indicates that there is a spot left to development. So I'm gonna add like 2 unused quirks to leave me some space, some room to develop this character as I play. Of course, NPCs don't have unused quirks, so but I build this character like a player character, so I'm gonna leave some room. And what could be interesting? She would like to sing, and she doesn't have a particularly good voice. She could love to sing. She could love to. Typical Minari people have a religious observance, so they must pray in the morning. They must pray at night when the sun goes down. She's not an observant of her religion, but maybe she could practice religion differently. Call me religion. Okay, I see. I'm gonna merge the 2 ideas together. She likes to pray by singing. So she prays by singing. When she wants to pray, she will sing. And that's our way of meditating or practicing the calming wind religion. She will give everyone a nickname. Everyone she meets gets a nickname. Gives everyone a nickname. So it's probably the easiest part of a GURPS character sheet, coming up with fun stuff to role play later on, and this can be treated like the SADs most of the time. So if she meets the queen, she may start to give her a nickname, and yeah, that's a quirk. In the past, when I was very concerned with point and build, and I was, after a session, I was reviewing every character sheet, and I gave XP based on the quirks and the SADs. Like, for example, a player of mine, Patrick was his name, he played a character, a shape changer. So in one game, this character had to go to the beach with the team to infiltrate some Baywatch kind of villain organization. I don't know, I don't remember. But this character decided to shape change into a babe and do the Pamela Anderson running on the beach and blah 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 in a sexy bikini, and and everyone was laughing. It was very fun. But at the end of the game, I took everyone's character sheet, I reviewed the SADs and quirk, and if a player played everything on this character sheet. I gave this player like maximum points for the game. And Pat, good old Pat, I was reviewing his character sheet, and I said, and I looked, and under disadvantage there was shyness -5 or -10. So I look at Pat and I said, "What's about? Your character is shy, and you were running on the beach like Pamela Anderson in a sexy bikini." So everyone laughed, and of course I didn't give him the maximum point because he didn't play what was on his character sheet. So that's some GURPS culture to you. So in quirks, maximum is 5. So I'm gonna use it all to give me some room to finish my design. So I need a little disad. Let's say, let's see. Another interesting quirk. I want to give her at least 3, just to start with solid character. Maybe let me have a look at her face again. Who are you? Who are you? Okay, she will enjoy collect small trinkets. She collects small trinkets from her travels. So everywhere she goes, she have to take a little something with her. So 5. So I have my 5 quirk. So that brings me back to 4 points. I'm gonna give her 4 skills, I think. Yeah, 4 random skills, just for fun, background and hobby. So I'm gonna give her stealth. I'm gonna give her packing. Packing is the art of packing stuff. Herb lore, yeah. Should know about herbs, right? Herb lore, 1 point. And lastly, probably games. You know, when she's in the tent, having her intoxicated experience, she will play a game that will be like chess. So there you go, 150 points. Now, to determine the skill level, it's kind of the boring part of the character sheet design. I remember when I started learning GURPS, it was very hard to do because you have the number of points you spend on the skill, then you have the difficulty of the skill, and you have to cross-reference those 2 information to learn about your level. So I was like, oh man, this is tough. But once you did at least 6 character, it started to become more natural. And of course, knowing the skill difficulty of each skill by heart is kind of it will help you go faster. So I'm gonna do it fast. So as a rule of thumb, most skill are average. And average skills, if you do 2 points, it's equal to your attributes. Your attribute, hard skill, it's 4 points, and easy skill is 1. So in every skill that you have these multiple 1, 2, and 4, you obtain your exact stat in that level. So for example, acting is an average skill. So I know that I have more than what I need to have the average. So it's an average skill. Normally, I don't bother to write the code of every skill, but it's an IQ skill, average, with 2 points in it. So I'm looking at the skill cost table, and it gives me +2. So that means to me that this is IQ +2. So then our IQ is 12. So this is 14. Of course, you can keep the code like this for every skill. But since it's, I just want to show you guys how to do a character. I don't want to get bogged down in this. So I'm gonna fly by. And I may have something, yeah, I said something wrong here. So just to recap, easy skills, 1 point equal your stat. Average skill, it's 2 points actually. And I'm sure this is the part in the video where I'm gonna lose viewers. So I'm gonna go fast for the last one, talking maybe a little bit less. So it's 12. This is easy. So 1, 2. This is average. No, this is easy. So broadsword is average. So 12. Pyramid fair. Also, I'm using a software called GURPS Character Assistant. So normally, if I want to go deep in character creation, I don't need to do this. So the software do it for me. So maybe that one is hard. Yes, it's hard. It's based off perception, though. 12. Thing is, with the character, when you buy the character, the Game Master screen for GURPS, there is this booklet called Character Creation, and it's full of tables that are super useful, like the skill cost table, and it's very neat. Detect lie, 12 -1. Okay, I'm right. Diplomacy is hard, So 4 point make it like my stat plus 1. Is average. It's average indeed. And it's been a while since I did it by hands. So average plus 1. The game of chess. Well, the rules are easy, but you know, it takes a lifetime to master. Herb lore is very, very hard. Okay, there is this category also called very hard. Some herb lore seems to be very hard. Maybe they will have to. Why is it knowing herbs? Is it a magical skill I should know about? Herb lore. This is the ability to manufacture herbal concoction that have magical effect. And okay, this is not the skill I was looking for. That should be naturalist. I wanted her to know about herbs and plants. Naturalist. This skill, crucial for fantasy, druids, and ranger, represent the practical knowledge of nature in any form. Yeah, that's more like it. So you see, even a pro can sometimes even a pro can sometimes make mistakes like that. So it's a hard skill. So give her a 10. Since I'm OCD, I'm gonna place it in alphabetical order. I'm kidding, it's just an habit. And it's faster to find the skill also. HT average, Webster HT 12 plus 1. Leadership average, so plus 1. Merchant is average 2. So she has 12 points in it. I'm gonna need to check out average plus 3. Oh, she's 15. That's our highest skill. So she is really like a professional merchant. Packing average IQ. So IQ minus 1. Public speaking is average. Riding camel, that's a easy skill. No, that's average. Okay, so her dexterity so is average. Survival is based off perception. Survival in GURPS is not just about finding food. It's also about evade danger and camp at the right site and what not to eat. How to approach animals. So survival is average. Average perception, and her perception is 12. So there you go. There you go. This character Minari is ready to play. I would probably have in her possession like a coat, a camel, a scimitar, a purse, coin purse, a backpack, or skin. Most of it being on her camel, so no need to check for weight and encumbrance and such. I'll have to check for maybe armor. She don't have armor. No. I want her to look like the drawing. So armor is not very practical in the desert. So I'm gonna give her a tent. I'm gonna give her I don't know, 5 doses of herbs and spices. I'm gonna give her blankets, and normally a character in a tech level 3 start with $1,000 in his pockets. But my character is comfortable, so that's changed this to 2,000. So just overlooking her possession, maybe I spent half of that. So I'm gonna give her half of that amount still available, and I'm gonna change the $sign to silver pieces, just because of the setting. And I'm gonna end this video with giving her stats to our broad scimitar. So she have 2 ways of doing damage with the broadsword. Maybe I didn't. I should mention that the stats you have here, damage. The first code is for thrusting, and the second one is for swinging with the full body. So your character basically have 2 maneuvers you can do for damaging someone. So these are important when you calculate weapon damage. So you need to have these ready. So I'm gonna copy it just over here, trying to show you what's going on in my head as I do it. So our scimitar will do swing +1 cutting. So the swing is that part here. So swing +1 would be 1 dice +1 cutting damage. And you can also point the scimitar towards a target, doing thrust +1 crushing. So this thrust +1 will become -1. And this is for a broadsword, a general broadsword. So I'm gonna make it a more like a scimitar, like with a pointy end. So I'm gonna change it to impaling. So this is my damage code to for the scimitar. I can try to impale a target or cut a target. It has a reach of 1 yard. I can try to attack somebody 1 yard away. My parry is modified by 0. And minimum strength to hold it is 10. So there you go. My skill in broadsword is 12. So I'm gonna add a parry. 12 divided by 2, that's a 6. 6 plus 3, 9. So same, basically. Scimitar. And no damage resistance. There you go. It's a character ready to play. Of course, I talked all the way through it, so of course it was longer. But when you know when you're doing, it can be very fast. When you're doing NPC again, you don't need to spend these points. You just fill the template, so it's even faster. If you're very OCD, you can use a software like GURPS character assistant and click everywhere, and you will have a point total. So if you need to know the point total, well, you can do that. But in GURPS, point total means nothing. It's not like a challenge rating things. I can make a 50-point martial artist who will beat the shit out of a 200 points knight. So it's all how you spend your points, really. And for this campaign, I even wrote a random NPC generator, so I can generate like 20 characters in a click. So yeah, making characters in GURPS is pretty fun. It's pretty detailed, but it can go really fast also. I will end this video with a thought, maybe. I think it's getting faster. It's faster to create a character in GURPS when you kind of know by heart every advantage, and at least you know them by name. You don't have to know the specific, but if you know like what combat reflex does, and toughness, and contacts, and how to create a contacts, and the more you play this game, the more you know about it, of course. But it's not like learning 100 feats in Pathfinder. It's more generic than that. A person who is beautiful, it's beautiful, and a person is beautiful in any setting. Beautiful is a trait. It's an aspect. It's a quality. So so it's closely related to language, and it's very easy to learn all these advantages and just run with it. So thanks for watching. It's been a long one, and I see you are three people watching me, so I salute you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.